Hi guys, my name is Rocky and thank you for tuning in to I Got It. Today I'm going to talk about big whoppers, spontaneous time fillers, and other things. And basically, I don't know if this happens to you, I would imagine that it does. At the end of the day, you look at your to-do list, if you do a to-do list, and you find out that you haven't really done much. Okay, you've done maybe 3 things out of the 10, 15 things you had there. Now, that sometimes makes me feel overwhelmed. I don't know about you. Now, if this is something that has plagued you or bothered you, this talk is for you. Now, if you're like me, I write stuff down in the morning, my to-do list. Not all the time, but most of the time. Um, so basically, at the end of the day, again, you find out that you didn't do much. And it can be kind of depressing, or you may feel a little bit low. Now, let's say you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? You have a routine, and this routine is every day. But just right off the bat, when we wake up, there are these things that happen. That's what I want to talk to you about. Things that are time consuming. They take up time, and you may not realize it. And you may not realize, or we may not realize how much time it takes. All right, so we're talking about these things that I call nano, micro, and minor incidents. What do I mean by that? Okay, you go into the bathroom, right? Brush your teeth. You see this little smudge, right? On the sink. You wipe it, okay? Take you what? 1 second, 3 seconds? Nothing insignificant, right? Something you did right away. And that's the issue, that these things are insignificant, but they take up a lot of time when you quantify them. And we'll talk about that more. Now, let's say you're going to brush your teeth, and you look, and your toothpaste, it's almost empty, okay? Now, you have more toothpaste behind you, a new box. You have to tear it open and open it up, and that's it. You brush your teeth. You think that that's pretty insignificant. But that's your second nano incident of the morning, right off the back. Okay, so you continue your day, and you see that there's a little, again, smudge on the medicine cabinet, and you take a little tissue, and you wipe it down. Again, there's your third time. There's the third incident. The second, what I call time bugs, these small insignificant things that may take about 3 seconds, 15 seconds to do, and they're insignificant. They appear to be, but they start to fill in your day. Okay, so you step into the shower, and it takes about probably, I don't know, 15 seconds for you to get the water temperature the way you want it, and those 8 seconds, again, they accumulate to these small things. You know where we're going, right? So basically, you what else? You come out of the bathroom, and you notice that some water fell onto the mat or onto the floor. Now this time you have to go and get a mop. Now this is no longer nano. This is now something micro. So it's going to take you less than a minute, or maybe a minute, to maybe wipe it, or whatever the case is. If maybe the mop is there, you do it real quick, then that's no longer a nano. That's more like a micro. It takes about a minute, right? So a nano is seconds. This is closer to a minute. Okay, so you wipe it, and then you get dressed. You don't know what you should put on, or whatever. You have a uniform, which is much easier, but it's time to leave. You go outside. You turn on the car. You forget that there's a bag that you want to return to a shopping mall, that you bought something, you want to return something. Now you go out of your car, go back into the house, and looking for this bag. You go back in. That's more than a minute. It's more like 3 to 5 minutes. That's what I call the minor incidents. Okay, so those are the 3 minutes, 5 minutes it takes, and these things start to add up. So we went over 3 things, right? So it's the nano, right, which is a couple of seconds. It's something that it's just bothering you. You can handle it in 3, 5 seconds. Then there's the micro. That's less than a minute, picking something up, putting it in the garbage, coming back, or something like that. It's less than a minute. Then you got the 3 to 5 minutes, and those are what I call the minor incident. Now we go into another field, and this is called the small incident. So, not to be confused with minor. Okay, so these are small incidents. Now, let's say you go to work, you're confronted with the regular traffic, nothing new there, 45 minutes of traffic, especially if you're in the city like myself, and you get to work. Guess what? The nano, micro, and minor incidents creep up there as well. So let's talk about these small incidents. So let's say when you come back home, you decide, hey, I want to eat something or whatever the case is, or you're coming home and you have a plan to get some dinner, make a few phone calls, but your neighbor Jane sees you coming, pulling up, and Jane decides to have a conversation with you, okay? Now, this conversation is 10 to 15 minutes long, okay? Even though you're trying to excuse yourself, but that's something what we call, obviously, a small incident. And these are time-consuming, okay? Very time-consuming. So this is the spontaneous time fillers that are never factored in to your day, your to-do list. These are not factored in. However, they show up, and most often they're spontaneous. This is just part of your life, the way you design your life, or the way your life is, how it functions. Now, another issue with me is I say that I do not have a very good estimation on how long something is going to take to complete. Okay, so I say that things take longer to complete than I anticipate. All right, so for instance, you decide to do whatever, and if you really clock yourself, you tend to spend more time doing it than what you thought. We all, not everybody, obviously, will say something like, oh, that'll just take me 10 minutes. Oh, that's a 5-minute thing. Oh, I'll just do that for 15 minutes per day. And it's not, you know. Let's say you say, I'm going to read 10 pages per day. And those 10 pages should take you, I don't know, 25 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what it takes you. It takes me about 20 minutes. But when you put in these nano, micro, minor, and small incident into the mix, those 10 pages all of a sudden take me 45 minutes to complete. Not all the time, more often than not. Now, let's say that, you know, your friend calls you at 4 o'clock. No, let's say 3 o'clock. And you say, hey, you know what? I can't talk right now. Why don't we talk at 5, okay? Then you start doing certain things, and around close to 4, you're getting hungry. You say, you know what? I'm going to get something to eat. And you decide on fish, okay, fish. You want to eat potatoes, okay, and some greens, right? Because I've been reading, what is it, Salt, Sugar, and Fat. One of the books that Ty Lopez recommends. I follow Ty Lopez. I like him a lot. I just started following him like about a month ago. And then you go there, you're about to do it. You find out that the potatoes that you have are a little bit old, okay? And you say, you know what? I don't want to go to the supermarket, but you know what? You look at the greens you have, and you don't have any tomatoes. You have lettuce. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the supermarket. Not intending it. You didn't have it factored in. But guess what? You decide maybe you should just drive. But you start thinking, wait a second, why don't I take this opportunity to walk, you know, for my own health? So what happens is you start to walk, which takes you longer sometimes, right? So you get over there and you get the potatoes, you get the tomatoes, and then you see that there's a sale on what? Avocados. So you spend 2 minutes trying to find out the avocado that's ripe, and to, you know, sometimes they're not. So you spend 2 minutes and you don't even get the avocado. You look to the corner and you see that they have some ripe bananas, and might say, well, you know what? I'm eating healthy. Why don't I have a banana smoothie? You know, it's fruit, some fructose without sugar, and you start getting bananas. You know where I'm going with this. The 5 or 7 minutes that you were going to be in the supermarket turns into what? 15, right? Now you have more bags because you just went there for a couple of things. Now you have more bags. You're walking slower. Okay? So what should have taken just, you know, 15 minutes, 10 minutes turned out to be, more. You get home, you peel the potatoes very quick, because remember, you told your friend you're gonna call them at 5. It's already 4:35 or 4:40. You start to peel the potatoes. You start having the water boiling and so on and so forth. 4:55, you're not even closer to finish. Okay, you know where I'm going with this. And basically, by the time you call your friend, it's 5:35. You're like 35, 40 minutes late, and you're like, oh my goodness. So what happened there? What happened basically is we are underestimating the amount of time that it takes to get something complete. Okay. Now, a lot of folks are gonna look at this and maybe think, well, this video is all about making excuses for being productive. Some of the things that we're reviewing here is a person who's probably not clean, or doesn't complete stuff, or this video is all about excuses and justifying procrastination and unwanted behavior. And I can understand how people can see this video that way, and trust me, that's not my intention. So for the most part, the intention of this video is just to bring to the forefront that we need to start to factor in, okay? We need to factor in these little fillers, these spontaneous fillers that do show up, and it really starts to explain to us where is it that our time goes. Because I don't know about you, but I'm asking, what happened to the time, So let's look at a book that I read by Brian Tracy, something, Eat the Big Frog, or something about a frog, okay? And it's just basically, take whatever big thing that you can do and just handle that. Okay, so that's cool, But if you're just like me, we're going to take a piece of paper, okay, and we're going to write one thing, right? We're going to write one thing. And if you're action-oriented the way I am, we're going to look at that one thing and say, that's a lazy person's, to-do list. One thing. No way. It's not. I'm going to do something more than that. And what we do is we fill our paper with 10 things, okay? So what we can do is just do one thing on one side, and then on the other side, you can actually write a whole many things. And I'm going to be reading the one thing by Gary Keller, because I follow Fight Mediocrity, that channel by Mocaz. He's awesome. I like him a lot. You should follow him too. So what I'm proposing is this. I'm proposing that you write one thing, right? So what is that big thing that you want to do? It can be like do your taxes, okay? Another thing is like call somebody that you need to apologize, or you have to be in communication with somebody. It could be, cleaning that closet that you need to clean. It's to complete a project that you may need to complete. What else? Getting your resume done, okay? Or, checking up on something, completing something. Just a whole bunch of stuff that are big in our estimation. But obviously, the saying says, if how do you eat an elephant but one bite at a time? And I read this great book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he talks about just taking little steps consistently. Great book. So basically, what we want to do maybe is write one big thing here, do your taxes, but also write a whole bunch of stuff over here. Like that, you want to get to the big whopper. That's why I said this talk is like the big whopper. So we'll call that the big whopper, right? So let's say the big whopper is what you're going to, and then you write here what the big whopper is, okay? And then I like to just challenge myself, and I'll put something under there like bring it on, okay? Bring it on, okay? So I'll write something like bring it on. And then at the bottom, I'll write something like done, D-O-N-E, or what is it? I can write done. I can handled. I like the word handled, or owned. You know what I mean? Just giving myself like a pep talk, just after I finish, it's like, done or handled or owned, and just write your big whopper, and then you can put bring it on just to create some challenge for yourself. And just basically, I hope this helps. Okay, I think it helps me, gives me more clarity. I think that's the first step in making transformational changes, is clarity, awareness. So think about the nano, the micro, the minor, the small incidents that are happening in your life and how they impact your productivity. The good news is a lot of these things that you don't have on your to-do list are things you should have done anyway. So if you look at the end of the day of all the things you did, and you fill those in, like, let's say, well, I didn't do this on my to-do list, but I did do this, and that. It actually, gives you that understanding, not sort of like false motivation, but you'll find out that you were more productive than you thought you were. And just not looking at the bad thing. I think it was Peter Drucker that said, just focus on the things you're good at, and that you do is good. Now, obviously, if you spend your day doing video games or watching TV and you weren't very productive, and this video is definitely not for you. It can help you, but I'm talking about people that are productive, like myself, like you, who do a lot of stuff. We're action-oriented, but yet, you know what? It's never enough. It's never enough. We never give ourselves a break. So thank you for seeing this video. I believe this is my first video on YouTube. I hope that I didn't speak too fast, and I hope that this video has added to your productivity, and I hope you got it, okay? Because I really wanted to share that with you. This is Rocky, and thank you for watching.